their game on Wednesday against Lesley University with an ankle injury after just 4 minutes and did not take warm-ups, is in sweats on the side. So that is obviously a big loss for the Skyhawks. So a little bit of an adjustment there, and our first three-point attempt is good. Ethan Muser, the junior from Pennsylvania, steps back and knocks down a three. He's a 38% three-point shooter. And how about that start for Stonehill?
Well, you watch this Boston College team. They've been vulnerable to some bigs who can step out and shoot the three. You go back to the Dartmouth loss here just after Thanksgiving. That was a short turnaround for BC coming off that tournament win down in the Caribbean.
And they beat Boise State in that final, a quad one win, then lost to Dartmouth. There's Beadle, a deep three. Chad Venning gets an offensive rebound, then lost the handle on.
Trying to navigate his way through the double team there. I'm not sure if he was trying to pass it to Dion Brown underneath, but obviously coming off that roughly week-long break now, have to think that Earl Grant wanted his team to get off to a quick start today.
So Amir Nesbitt gets the start in place of Morgan, the grad student. And he's out of bounds there for Stonehill. That's Todd Brogna, the sophomore. He's been really good, 8th in the NEC in points per game. There's Chris Krause, 11th season at his alma mater, 3rd year that Stonehill has been a Division I program. A little bit of a step back last year. They had a ton of injuries, ended up going just 4-27. They've obviously exceeded that win total by 2 already this year. Elijah Strong straight on from 3 is no good. And Nesbitt has a rebound.
Not going to complain about him shooting that.
Brogna kicks. User thought about it again, instead goes to Nesbitt, throws the extra pass, and Stonehill still cycling. Straight on, Kofi's jumper is no good. Herman Kofi starting his 8th game in a row. He's averaging 11 a game over these last 8 for Stonehill. Stonehill's had some nice wins on their resume so far. Beat a Quinnipiac team that was picked highly in the MAC. Beat a Bryant team that's a former league rival. Only loss in this last stretch of 5 was to Marquette on the road. Brogna's good from 3. Todd Brogna, the sophomore, first in the NEC among qualifiers, over a 54% three-point shooter.
Well, you can see the game plan very early on here for Stonehill, Eric, is they're going to shoot, and they're going to shoot from distance, and they're going to try to sort of play that game of our 3s will beat your 2s, and whatever shots we sort of allow you to get on the defensive end.
Donald Hand, long 2 is good. So the Eagles get on the board. Donald Hand Jr., the redshirt sophomore, Boston College's leading scorer, 14 a game in over 30 minutes.
Stonehill packing it in defensively. Good ball denial into the low post, so Hand has to settle for the jumper, but knocks it down.
And with 13 points in the game against Wake, Boston College's last game last Saturday, where they lost on the road to start ACC play. Long 3 ball, no good from Kofi. And BC on the run. Dion Brown on the baseline. It's a good job to find Elijah Strong, and there is Beadle, short from 3. Josh Beadle has been inserted into the starting lineup over the last few games. Second start, taking over that spot for Chas Kelley. They've both been about even in minutes. Nesbitt jumper's good. Amir Nesbitt coming in from Hampton University.
Taking advantage of a miscommunication there on the pick and roll. Beadle and Venning both went with the same guy. That left Nesbitt wide open. Got deep to the free throw line for an easy shot.
A good offensive start here for Stonehill, up 8-2. Beadle's got a good left hand, and he finds the runner.
I think part of the reason you see the move into the starting lineup was because of what he had done off the bench previously, right? He'd been sort of become that go-to guy down the stretch. Hit some big late-game buckets in that tournament for BC in that Cayman Islands win. So he gets rewarded getting into a starting role, trying to find some of that offense early on.
Drive from Stinson, and he traveled. But a nice start here for Stonehill. 8 points early off a couple of 3-pointers. Something to watch today for a Skyhawks team that makes nearly 10 per game. They're up 4 early.
chance once you get into conference play, and obviously only 4 wins a year ago. That's not a surprise when you see teams, you know, who've made the jump from D2 to D1. It's not always that first year, it's that second, that third year where sometimes that recruiting hit comes.
Nice drive by Chas Kelley, who's into the game. Second game in a row coming off the bench for Chas, the junior from Houston, Texas, who's averaging 4 per game, still the team leader in assists with 3 per contest.
And just to finish the point, one thing that I think will help Stonehill is what the Northeast Conference has done, which is allow teams in that transition, a Stonehill and a Lemoyne, to be able to play in the conference tournament, even though they're not yet NCAA tournament eligible.
Luis Simona, the sophomore, who's come on really well here over the last few games. He's set career highs in back-to-back games at 18 against Quinnipiac and then 24 on Wednesday against Leslie. Dion Brown, no good from 3. Had a foul called on the rebound attempt on the floor. Stonehill's challenged themselves as well. This is their 4th Power 6 opponent that they've played this year. At Notre Dame, at Providence, at number 10 Marquette a week and a half ago, and now here against BC.
Well, if you're gonna make that move, you're gonna have to go play some Giants, and sometimes you have to take your lumps in that process. Although really Marquette was probably the only true blowout of that group of 3 you mentioned.
Roger McFarland into the game, turnaround jumper, no good. So Boston College is 3 for 9 from the floor to start this game. Stonehill, a couple of 3-pointers, the difference, and a 10-6 lead early on. Chaz Stinson, the junior from Charlotte, North Carolina. Neil Marquardt is in the game for the first time as well for Stonehill, and that is turned over.
Much better defensive trip that time for the Eagles. Probably their best stretch of defense, handling that pick and roll situation much better in terms of the communication, when to switch, when to stay. I think a little bit more versatility with Jaden Hastings on the floor playing that center spot. And he's got that foot speed and obviously the wingspan to be able to recover and close out on a forward who's more of a shooter quickly.
Yeah, Earl Grant's gone deep enough down the card that there are still opportunities to earn some roles here as ACC play. It's begun. They already played Wake Forest, but really will click in after the new year. Donald Hand right to the basket, and Hastings follows. And that's a good read there by Jaden Hastings to follow the miss.
It's what you love to see from the big man. Just elevate, use your size.
Nesbitt throws it away. A Boston College ball. See, Hastings was behind that play the whole way, read it really well.
Waits for that ball to pop off the rim, and everyone gathering underneath. He says, don't mind me while I just come over the top.
Hastings, who redshirted last year, former 4-star recruit from Orlando, Florida. Chas Kelley, back right, Kelley up, Kelley no. And a rebound for Muser.
Couple misses in tight, but I like the mentality at least early on of Kelley going to the rim.
Bates for 3, in and out. Good looking shot from Alex Bates, the transfer from Iona. And right to the basket, Hand goes up and is fouled. So Boston College certainly aggressive getting to the basket here. You can see the game plan early on.
Well, and you're seeing the shots from the outside not falling either, so sometimes you miss those first few from deep, and the mentality changes, and you say, all right, shot's not working early on. Let me try to get myself in rhythm, attack the basket, either get some layups or get to the free throw line.
Donald Hand has been an excellent free throw shooter this year. Comes in second in the ACC, 88%. He's now 44 for 50 this year. Taken a huge leap this season. Last year, and really his first full year, remember he played 2 games as a freshman before the injury, just 5 points a game, 14 and a half minutes. He's more than doubled most of those offensive categories. And he will check out here for Dion Brown. Boston College has tied this game.
Again, it's a story you don't see a lot in college basketball anymore just because there's so much movement in the transfer portal year to year. It's not often you see a guy sort of wait and eventually get his opportunity to see the uptick in minutes. And all of a sudden, the uptick in production, in points, in rebounds, in efficiency comes as a result.
Right. Sometimes you'll see it, but it's at a different place, right? You grow into it that way. Another three chance, in and out. A couple of good looks. That time, Simona was no good, the sophomore.
Again, almost everything coming from the outside for Stonehill.
Chas Kelley for three. Kelley did not pick his sneakers based on his opponent today, but knocks down the triple to give Boston College their first lead of the day. So remember, Stonehill started this game with a couple of three-pointers. It's a 7-0 run, though, for BC since then, and it continues as Hastings goes up high for the rebound on the Nesbitt miss. Fred Payne right to the basket and is blocked from behind. Chaz Stinson got it. And now Simona on the run out, a little too strong. Nate's got a piece of the rebound and is fouled going up. So free throws for Stonehill when we come back. But the Eagles have flipped the script on this game early. A 7-0 run, capped by the three-pointer from Chas Kelley as BC up 3. Be the same tie every night. And you have to, if you're Earl Grant, kind of read that early in the game and feel who has the hot hand, and could be different people at different positions even on a game and a nightly basis. But that's kind of going to be how you figure this unit out. Still, I think looking for what those perfect rotations are with this group.
Well, certainly it's going to be a matchup-based attack, and I think the toughest part is for Earl Grant over these first 10 games, he hasn't seen the consistency that he wants on the defensive end of the floor. And that is an area we know the Eagles head coach prides himself in having tough, hard-nosed teams that want to play with that defensive mentality. They want to press you. They want to turn you over. They want to be tough to play against. And it just hasn't always been there in this start for BC. And so that's why you're seeing as much rotation flipping through these early stretches as anything else.
Brown right to the basket was no good, and a long rebound Herman Kofi finds for Stonehill, down by 1.
Because I think with Earl Grant, he'll let you play if you're going through a tough stretch offensively. If you're not there on the defensive end of the floor and you're not giving the effort that he thinks you should be, then that's when you get a seat.
Brogna trying to find a lane, and he does. Brogna going up against Dion Brown has 5 points. Really solid year. 8th in the conference in points, 2nd in rebounding. Best three-point percentage. We already saw him hit a 3 earlier, 55% on the year. The only returning starter from last year's Stonehill team. And the Eagles throw it away.
Kelley expecting Venning to get around his man and get to the front post there. There's a look at Brogna. Really staple guy for Stonehill. Nice fake to his right, turns it back to the jump hook. A local product, Worcester area, 2-time NEPSAC chip. You know, kind of one of those tweener prospects, right? You know, a lot of teams probably looked at him as maybe a little small to play a true post at this level, but he can step outside, shows you he can hit the jump shot. Nice building block for Stonehill for the future.
7 to shoot. Simona against Strong. He tries, got the back cut, up and under, no. Good look from Stinson at the end of the timer, but he couldn't finish. And McFarland back the other way for BC. Strong nearly lost the handle on it. It's back to McFarland. Beadle drives, lost his footing, still got the pass away for Venning. Second effort for Dion Brown. Chaos underneath, eventually finds an open Chad Venning for his first 2.
Good composure underneath by Brown after that offensive rebound just sort of fell into his lap. He throws up the quick head fake to get Brogna off balance, and then slips it to Venning for the easy bank shot.
Boston College, 8 of their 15 have come in the paint. Brogna straight on, good. 2 3-pointers already for Todd Brogna. He's 2 for 2. And Stonehill leads again. Back and forth early on. Stonehill 3 for 9 from behind the arc in the early going. Beadle drives, got it up. Beadle got it. Good look from Beadle.
You watch those kind of plays and you go, man, you see the potential. You see those flash plays. for Beadle. It hasn't quite come consistently.
See where Stonehill wants to go with the ball. Brogna thought he was fouled, did not get the call. Beadle stops, got the cutting McFarland. Decent look there, but it just slipped off.
Yeah, pass just a little bit low. McFarland at full speed, couldn't catch it in stride. Take another look at the hang and the hit here from Beadle, surviving the contact. Those are the kind of plays that you see just make him, you know, special talent.
You can see the minutes, the usage, the points as a result, all up recently here for Josh Beadle. It's not just the big shots as we've talked about, but definitely has earned more time and now getting his second start in a row. Brogna got to the, boy, he's been good getting to the basket. What an early start here for Brogna, who has 10 points.
By the time he got a hand on him and he says, well, I can take this guy in the low post. Well, goes back to his old school game, just muscles his way to the rim.
He's averaging 12 per game this year. Luka Taves is in for the first time for Boston College. Immediately turned over, and a jump ball will keep possession here for the moment.
Stonehill making life tough on Venning, forcing him to catch the ball away from the rim. Quick hands, slapping at that ball. Guy who's coming off a tough game against Wake Forest, held to just 6 points, 4 rebounds. You know, he's chomping at the bit to try to take advantage of a matchup he feels he should win.
Venning right there underneath. Chad Venning's gotten off to really good starts early in games. He's been an important piece to Boston College's early offense here recently, and he has 4. St. Bonaventure transfer. So 19 apiece here with 8 minutes to go in the first half. Brogna, a fastball to the corner, and the 3 is good from Louis Simona.
Well, you see Brogna the scorer, now you get Brogna the playmaker. Senses that double coming and makes a perfect pass. Easy catch and fire for Simona.
Elijah Strong nearly lost the handle. A little no look for Venning, who draws the foul. Nice job there for Elijah Strong. It's like, what are we doing? Played 2 years ago in this building, the first time they played as Division I opponents, and Stonehill gave Boston College all they could handle. 63-56 the final there, and they're giving them quite a bit early on today as Venning misses the front end. Off the foul on Ethan Muser, the junior's second foul this first half. Venning, who's a 63% free throw shooter, 1 of 2.
It's going to force Stonehill into a little bit of a smaller lineup. Brogna, Simona, a little bit more mobile on the outside, so they'll try to take advantage with the shooting out there offensively.
You can see what it does. It brings Chad Venning out to the three-point line defensively against Brogna. They'll switch.
It does leave them a little bit vulnerable inside defensively, though. We'll see if the guards for BC continue to attack as a result.
Brogna gonna back down, go to his left, gotta fall away a little short, but an offensive rebound by Stinson, a fresh possession for Stonehill. Second offensive rebound for the Skyhawks. And this is going the other way.
It's on Brogna.
Well, let's look at what Brogna's done so far for Stonehill. We told you it might have more touches with Josh Morgan down today, and he certainly has been good so far.
Again, utilizing that mismatch. Venning giving him room to shoot. He takes advantage, and then when he senses the smaller guard on him, easy spin off at the low post. Nice finish at the rim. And again, only a sophomore. He's definitely a building block for this future for Stonehill.
Had 16 and 8, 21 minutes on Wednesday against Leslie. Chas Kelley back in for BC. That's stolen. Was trying to get it to McFarland. It's Simona out front, and he is fouled on the floor. Louis Simona, the sophomore, off the turnover. First foul on Chas Kelley.
And McFarland cuts his run a little bit short there, allows Simona to jump into the passing lane again. A couple early miscommunications on offense for BC. Whether it's guys Like McFarland there not coming to the basketball, not setting up where teammates expect them to be.
Lob inside, oh boy, Brogna was behind. He couldn't quite catch that pass. Nesbitt knew it too.
Yeah, he had a good seal. Again, just got to get a little bit better execution on that pass.
Competitive back and forth game here, early first half. Kelley, step back three. Chas Kelley has his shot today. Already one shy of a season high in points. 8 of them so far for Kelley. Boston College back in the lead. Brogna against Elijah Strong, and contact called on Strong. How about Chas Kelley again, coming off the bench today for the 2nd game in a row. He's been good.
You talk about Earl Grant looking for, trying to set up the rotations. Right now, Chas Kelley appears to be earning himself some valuable minutes in the 2nd half with how he started this game.
Nice little move, and Brogna is fouled, and that's, I think, 2 in a row on Elijah Strong. Well, how about the design here? The inbounds, and Brogna now will go to the line.
2 shots for the Skyhawks. Todd.
And creates a nice free lane for Brogna. Tried to make a statement by throwing it down.
See some of his numbers this year. The 3-point shots, doesn't have quite the number of attempts as some of the other top 3-point shooters in the NEC, but you're seeing more of it because of how good he's been. Averaged 5.5 points last year, playing in 28 games, as we said. Really the only returning starter from last year's Stonehill team. He's battled a lot of injuries. He is on his season average in points. He has 12 of Stonehill's 24. Kelley kicks. McFarland, high raining 3 is good. Roger McFarland's first triple, his 4th of the year. Oh, Grant would love to see that shot start to go down for McFarland, the grad student who came in from southeastern Louisiana.
And that's back-to-back games with a 3 as well for McFarland. So we'll see if that sort of fuels his confidence a little bit.
Well, Stonehill is showing you where they're going with the ball. It's going to be Brogna every possession. Back on it, 5 to shoot. Brogna drives, crazy shot, no. But Marquardt gets the offensive rebound. I don't even know how you describe that last shot, but he's back on it. Brogna up, Brogna good. Todd Brogna showing off in Conti early.
He's going right at Elijah Strong, saying, you got 2 fouls. I dare you not to commit a 3rd.
That's exactly right.
Just put his shoulder into his chest and created the space.
Chas Kelley matching so far. New season high, 10 points.
Good confident take there from Kelley. His defender goes under the screen. He steps up, takes the easy money on the jump shot.
(28-26), falling away. Stinson was way off. Rebound loose for a while before McFarland finds it. 3-on-1, fast break for Frit Payne.
Like to see a little more of that from Boston College, especially if you can get the rebound and run in transition.
Looked like Leonard, Perot, and Higgins there out front. 4-point lead now for Boston College. 4 minutes to go in the first half. Marquardt gives it up. 3-pointer, no good. From Herman Kofi. And Strong fighting for the rebound. And that foul, if it's on Brogna, that's his 2nd. So something to look at when we come back. Eagles get out front thanks to the rebounding of McFarland. And Frit Payne finishes for a 4-point lead.
More, especially with Muser on the bench with 2 fouls, who's Stonehill's best rim protector.
BC overall has made 7 in a row from the floor. The last 3 3-pointers as well. Chas Kelley's made a few. Gonna get some good minutes today, the way he's going. And taken away. Good steal by Chas Stinson, who averages 2 per game, and he is fouled. Going up against Kenny Shonda, the first year from the Congo.
Yeah, tough start for Shonda, right? He's had to sit and watch pretty much the entirety of this first half. He gets in the game, makes a tight pass, turns it over, and then commits the foul on the back end in transition.
So Chas Stinson now, the junior. 23 games last year for Stonehill, started 10, averaging 7 points a game. He's 6th in the NEC in steals, as we said, averaging just under 2 per game. We just saw his first of the night.
You talk about key stretches of games. I was going to say, coming out of the timeout, this is a key stretch for Boston College. Remember, this was a point in the game at the start of this losing streak against Dartmouth, where felt like Boston College had started to grab control of the game, but it was the final 3 minutes where Dartmouth started to find some rhythm offensively and pulled their way back. Can't allow Stonehill to do that here.
Well, if that was a pass, it worked well. Kelley too strong on the 3, but Roger McFarland has had a nice first half with the putback for 5 points.
Now, he might try to sell you as a pass, but that was definitely a long shot. Ended up working out with McFarland right place.
It's a pass in the box score tomorrow. Fred Payne just called for the foul. There is Josh Morgan, as we said, Stonehill's leading scorer at just under 15 per game so far this year, 4th in the conference, coming in as a transfer from Incarnate Word. Took a huge step this year. He had an ankle injury, as we said, in the 4 minutes into that game against Leslie on Wednesday, and out once again today.
Well, certainly the hope is that it's not a long-term issue and that he'll be back somewhere around the start of Northeast Conference play.
So can Stonehill do it without Morgan and without Brogna on the floor right now, out with 2 fouls? Down by 4 at the moment. And McFarland with a burst of speed. Hastings saves it. And then the foul on Nesbitt. It's a heck of a job by Jaden Hastings to save that. Give Boston College a chance, and eventually they draw the foul.
Yeah, McFarland just getting a little sped up here, trying to flip it off to Hastings, and nice job to throw it in the area where he felt like he had some help. A couple of wonky offensive possessions here coming out of the media timeout for BC.
Fred Payne, who's gotten a lot of recent minutes, feels like he's getting more and more in the rotation for Earl Grant. Missed at the rim there.
Well, he played really well against Wake, had a missed opportunity there. Hopefully not still ruining the free throws he missed against the Deacs toward the end of that game.
Yeah, he had 12 points, made a couple of threes against Wake. Three-pointer no good from Stinson.
Might have got a piece of that shot.
So BC can kind of slow things down a little bit. They're shooting 50% from the floor. Made 8 of their last 10, even with a couple of misses here. McFarland, that was something.
You could see it. I think it just rolled off his fingertips.
I mean, he's trying to argue for a foul. They did not call it.
No, there was no contact there.
Simona straight up has the size advantage there against Fred Payne. 8 to shoot for Stonehill, down by 4, and that is thrown away. So now all of a sudden we've gone a couple of possessions here without seeing a ton of points. Stonehill has not scored in the last 2 minutes. They're one of their last 7 from the floor, but they're still right in this game because BC all of a sudden, after they went 7 for 7, missed their last 3 shots without Brogna on the floor.
Well, same thing. I think, you know, sort of go-to players for both teams out of the mix right now. I know you've got Kelley out there for BC, but he's taking more of a setup role at the moment instead of looking for a shot like he was earlier.
Boy, this feels like a massive last 109 and a timeout called by Chris Krause.
If that's right, going into the halftime, you want to be playing with confidence. You want to, if you're BC, build that lead. If you're Stonehill, try to grab the lead back. And really, both teams kind of lost in the woods over these last couple minutes on the offensive end of the floor. For the Eagles, no Donald Hand. Venning had come off. And so not really sure. Shonda had come in for the first time. They're still trying to figure some things out with this group. And for Stonehill, it's very clear with Brogna out of the game that they don't really have another go-to option out there to direct the offensive traffic.
So final minute. We'll see where Stonehill goes with the ball. And with Brogna out with 2 fouls. It's Stinson inside, and he draws the foul. Good attack right at Hastings.
Yeah, this is Hastings trying to do the right thing in terms of just staying still. Problem is he never gets his body squared to Stinson as he's coming to the basket. You can see his hips are turned. So that makes it an easier call for the official on the block.
Chas Stinson, who's a 60% free throw shooter, has his first point. You talked about, you look at stretches of games, and for Stonehill, it's almost, survive is not the right word, but it almost feels like that when your best player, who was so involved. Remember, of Stonehill's first 24 points today, Brogna had 12 of them. That is literally half of their offense.
And you can see Earl Grant knows how important this next 45 seconds is because he gets Beadle and Venning right back out there.
If they try to go 2 for 1, McFarland gives it off. Fred Payne, 13 to shoot. Shonda thought about it, got up in the air, still manages to get it away for Payne. What a big shot.
Well, maybe a little fortunate there. Shonda looks like he might have gotten away with a walk. But he finds Payne, who sticks the 3. How about the Eagles, who started 0 for 4 from behind the arc, now 4 for their last 7.
And Fred Payne earning more and more minutes. 43% three-point shooter, knocks down a big one. 7 to shoot for Stonehill here at the end of the first half. Stinson on the drive. There's a ton of bodies there. Payne got it, gets it off, and nearly hit. A wacky end to the half, but a big 3 for Fred at his alma mater. He just recently passed David McLaughlin on the all-time wins leads for Stonehill. Krause took over for David McLaughlin, now the head coach at Dartmouth, who just came in and beat Boston College in this building a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, really seamless transition, right? He goes from player to assistant coach, elevates to the head job, and oversees that transition. Always helps when you have sort of a program guy, right, who's able to oversee that transition because, he's obviously been through the good times, knows what they look like, and, still a young coach on the rise.
So Boston College, again, that shot from Fred Payne took this from what could have been a 2-point game to 5. Stonehill really hung in without Brogna, without making shots. There's a good one from Donald Hand. Made the first shot of the first half and does the same here in the second.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the mentality is early on offensively for BC. If they look to attack or if they stay a little bit more passive.
Three-pointer no good from Nesbitt. Rebound available, and it's Donald Hans, who has really been a good rebounder this year, 8 per game, as Venning lost the handle on it. And the foul on Ethan Muser, who missed a lot of that first half due to foul trouble, and immediately gets his 3rd.
Yeah, this is going to be a problem early on here from Muser. As you see the nice free throw line jumper by Hand, just gets to his spot, elevates over the defender. Now Muser going to have to take an early seat as well. You can see it was a problem when he had to come out. Stonehill gave up a little bit more space around the rim, led to some second chance points for BC as well.
Venning drives. Venning, good one off the window. Just using his size and strength there. He has 7.
Yeah, I think you want to operate through Venning right now if you're BC, especially because if Brogna's going to defend him on the other side, chance to draw an early 3rd foul there.
We'll see if Boston College tries to deny it. Brogna, who's so impactful in that first half. He spins, not an A-plus look, though. And Elijah Strong on the run out. Strong to the basket, good take. And a quick timeout for Stonehill. Well, Boston College, good momentum out of the halftime break. They score the first 6 and build the lead to 11. 6-point lead for Boston College, and a couple of really key baskets coming out of the break. Good momentum early, starting with Venning.
Well, it seems pretty clear what the discussion was in the halftime locker room from Earl Grant was, let's get our nose dirty, let's go to the rim, and let's take advantage of our strength inside, especially if they get that early third foul on Muser, which they did. And so right away, BC attacking the basket and getting rewarded for it.
So a 6-0 run to start the second half. If you go back to the Payne 3, it's a 9-0 run in game for Boston College after Stonehill cut it to 2. Strong with the block, but counted. Again, it's Brogna just going right to the basket. He now has 16.
Yeah, nice little spin move. And you'll see Strong wants this reviewed, but this is clearly off the backboard before Strong makes contact with it. Smart play by Brogna, getting it off the window quickly.
Strong reaching for it, tip somewhere, it'll stay here.
Clearly want to get Elijah Strong more involved. 0 for 2 in the first half, just 1 rebound for a guy who plays so much for BC. Got to get some more production out of him.
Here's Beadle. Venning goes inside for Strong. Elijah's spinning, turning, left hand, no.
Credit Simona, did well defending there in the low block. Gave ground, but still forced Strong into a tough jump hook.
Brogna tried to go left, and a reach-in foul called against Boston College.
It was a pretty simple game right now that Stonehill's playing with Brogna. They're just screening him onto a smaller guard and letting him go to work in the low post. And right now, BC is sort of giving up that matchup and I think willing to try to defend it.
Yeah, you see Beadle get switched on. Just a little too much contact for the officiating crew.
Now Venning wants him. This is where Brogna will try to take advantage with the outside shot.
So that goaltending call snapped the 9-0 run. Down to 3 to shoot. Gotta go. Simona couldn't get it off. Good defense from Elijah Strong.
Yeah, stayed down on the pump fake.
Dion Brown was open. Instead, he drives right to the bucket. Got the rebound. First 2 of the game for Dion Brown.
Well, it's a nice effort getting his own miss and putting it back up. Almost would like to see him shoot that corner 3, though.
Still trying to find his game early on in the season. Someone that Boston College was very excited about. He's doing a lot of the little things, though. He does get those 2 points. There's the block first from Strong.
Yeah, I think you like the effort. Obviously, you know, sees the defender running at him, feels like there's going to be a path to the rim, meets a couple defenders, and good second effort. But again, for a guy who's, you know, searching for his offensive game, you feel like you want to see him show confidence in that jump shot, even if his natural tendency is to attack.
He's averaging 6 points a game last year. Remember, a first-team All-America East selection last year at UMBC. Stonehill's forced deep into the timer quite a bit today.
Oh, forced to bring Muser back as well.
Playing with 3 fouls. Here's Kofi for 3. Herman Kofi, the NEC's leading scorer among freshmen. And he has his first points of the game on the 3.
A big bucket there for Stonehill. That's got to be part of the recipe, I think. Skyhawks came out early looking to shoot, sort of play that 3 for 2 game a little bit. I would like to see them get back to that now that BC's made some adjustments on Brogna.
And we keep saying they've hung in. Here's Brown for 3, and that is good. Well, there's a confident stroke from Dion Brown. He has 5.
Beautiful tandem work between he and Venning there. Inside-out offense. They double down on Venning. That leaves Brown open. Good take there on the 3.
Brogna on the handoff. Bates is good.
Tough shot off balance.
I was gonna say, the one thing that we hadn't seen from Stonehill, as much as we keep saying, all right, they're hanging in, was at some point the shots had to start to fall, and now that's 2 in a row made for Stonehill. interrupted by the Deion Brown three.
And now the problems have started to come on the defensive end, as BC's offensive confidence has grown a little bit.
Beadle to his left, taken away, but it hit the timeline and is out of bounds. So Boston College up 46-37, but Stonehill continues to hang in there. The freshman, Herman Kofi from Quebec from deep. From a little bit earlier on Elijah Strong, and they did just take a peek to be sure. And indeed, they did get one right today.
Good to see they brought their sense of humor today.
Venning up and good.
Nice
So they're
touch
feeding
again.
Chad Venning here in this second half. Boston College back up 11.
And you see what made him such a threat last year with the Bonnies. Great touch around the rim.
So an 11-point lead for Boston College, and that is tipped by Strong. Wise decision by Alex Bates to let that go.
You said over this last little stretch, Stonehill hanging around. They've started to make
feels like the word, right? Hanging in, but can they make enough shots? Because Boston College is doing that on the other side. BC is 6 for 8 from the floor in this second half. Follow up, good. Good job by Ethan Muser to find the rebound. He has 5.
That's the question, right? So in the first half, they were hanging around over those final few minutes because of the defense. They were getting stops. Now they're trying to hang around in a different way by making shots, but they're not getting enough stops to really make any hay in this game.
Entrance for Venning. Nearly lost the handle and is blocked. Well, that's why they need Muser in the game. He's had to play in foul trouble all day. Stinson all the way in, no.
Good defense by Brown.
And Boston College with numbers the other way. Brown on a bounce pass to the corner. Extra feed for Strong. He gives it up again for Donald Hand.
It felt like Strong had a shot there on the 3. Maybe got it to Hand out in the corner of Beat late.
Beadle drives, stops to the corner for Deion Brown, who's no good. Another good 3-point look. This time it doesn't go.
And he'll take that. Good setup from Beadle. Good look for Brown. Can't ask for much more than a good shot attempt.
Too high on the pass.
Interesting here. They had Beadle sort of running the point. Doesn't necessarily feel like that's his natural spot. Obviously, a guy who likes to have the ball in his hands, but feels like when he does, he looks more to score rather than set up. Chas Kelley, the opposite of that, but he's been the one doing the scoring.
Here is Elijah Strong. Goes up and is fouled.
Stonehill foul number 33, Ethan Muser.
That's another one on Muser. And to Boston College's credit, they've gone right after number 33, and he now has 4 fouls with still more than 13 minutes remaining.
Yeah, Stonehill knew they needed him back in there for their defense, especially once BC started to operate underneath through Strong and Venning. And ultimately, Strong just too cagey, knowing how to draw that contact. He's got, you know, a good variety of moves down around the rim, some good shoulder fakes, some head fakes, good footwork. You can see he's definitely put the time in practice over the last couple years to develop his low post game.
Well, Elijah Strong, this is not the first time we've seen one of these. Remember, he did not score in the first half against Dartmouth and then found 18 all in the second half of that game. He wears his emotions on his sleeve, quite literally, as you hear him yell out after missing the second free throw.
Sometimes it's good to have a guy like that, though.
Like an energizer on this Boston College team. Brogna going inside, and they called a block against Strong.
Yeah, he was trying to sell the charge there and may have sold it a little too hard.
That's 3 on Elijah Strong. That's why sometimes it depends on the official's angle, right? Do they see that level of arm extension?
Well, and it was called for the official on the low block as well, so it was behind strong.
Nesbitt for three. That's a big one. Amir Nesbitt. He's performed really well in these games against Power 6 opponents, averaging 11 points per game against Notre Dame, Providence, and Marquette in those 3 games this year, and he has 5 today.
A guy who has the ball in his hands a lot, sometimes has to make tough plays and does.
Nice take by Donald Hand Jr. is up to 8 points. And remember, Stonehill is doing this without Josh Morgan today, the grad student and leading scorer for the Skyhawks. He's out with an ankle injury. 3-pointer, Simona, no. But what a job by Brogna to get the offensive rebound. And the foul on Chas Kelley. Here's Morgan.
They say they're doing it without him, but they're also not getting a lot from Brogna in this second half, just 2 points.
Just 2 points and just 2 attempts. Boston College has done a good job denying. Simona, the basket blocked. Big time rejection. And the Eagles now on the run. Hands to his left. Kicks for Chas Kelley. Passed it up, floater, good. That was a frantic sequence that the Eagles calmed quite well to get the lead back to 11.
Yeah, nice composure by the duo of Kelley and Hand in transition. Keep that ball moving quickly, but get to your spot, find the right shot.
Brogna against the double team, and there's nowhere to go.
Hastings again.
But it ends up with Simona, who got it back in for Brogna, and he finds a bucket. 18 for Brogna, 2 shy of a career high.
Again, just trying to go too quickly in transition that time, and nice hands by Simona.
And the Eagles' offense continues to be excellent. 8 of 12 in this second half. Stonehill 6 of 14. McFarland. Brown spinning to his right. Dion Brown, good work. 7 in the second half for Dion Brown.
You see the quick footwork by Brown inside. Gets to his spot. Nice quick turn to shake his man loose.
Good offensive day for Boston College. They're 6 of their last 8 from the floor.
They were desperately in need of it.
55% overall from the floor. Tie up, jump ball, and possession to Boston College. Chas Kelley earns the tie-up. And Boston College with an 11-point lead. They've been active defensively as Hastings on the rejection. And Kelley with his best offensive game of the year. Your head coaching job one day is just, I love being in the gym. And this is a way to get back in the gym. He has been such a valuable asset for Chris Krause to have on the sidelines this year.
Well, certainly knows what it's like to coach at this level, especially with a small program, trying to make some big waves, trying to build a program as well.
Dion Brown, what a take. So maybe one of the better halves of the year here for Dion Brown offensively. 9 points, he's 1 point shy of a season high. And Boston College has their largest lead in the while. Turnaround shot, Nesbitt finds the roll. Another solid game against a Power 6 team for Nesbitt, who has 7.
And again, Stonehill starting to find some rhythm offensively, starting to make some shots, albeit some tough ones. They gotta find a way to anchor down here defensively.
McFarland open for 3. Little strong. Hastings with a big offensive rebound. How about that? In a ton of traffic. Jaden Hastings has 4.
Just looking like a man amongst boys there. Keeping the ball alive against 2-3 Stonehill players. Eventually gathering it, going up strong.
Hastings getting some time here in the second half at a key moment. Stinson on the drive, the foul before the block.
Stonehill looking for an and one.
I think they were maybe asking if it was a goaltend, but
yeah.
First the putback on the other side. Well, Jaden Hastings, as we said, redshirted last year, former 4-star recruit from IMG Academy. You certainly see the flashes here. Let's see. It was close.
Certainly not off the backboard like the earlier goaltend. Question is that ball on its way down, did it already get past the apex? I think it's pretty much right there at the high point.
That last foul was Chas Kelley's third, by the way. Boston College's leading scorer today with 12 points. So Stinson, who's a 60% free throw shooter this year, but is 6 for 6 today. Again, Stonehill continuing to hang close within contact, but can they get enough defensive stops against an Eagles team shooting 70% from the floor in the second half? Brown drives, he's feeling it right now, and the follow no good for Hastings.
Just slipped out of his grasp as he went to throw it down.
Would have taken the roof off this place. User, by the way, is in there playing with 4 fouls for Stonehill. Something to watch, 33 in purple. Brogna lost the handle. Dion Brown on the run, beat everybody, and then the back play by Stinson blocks it clean. It looked like he beat everybody down the floor, and then he kind of just stopped enough for Stonehill to catch up.
Yeah, I don't know if he's trying to draw a foul there by throwing the brakes on. I mean, again, you've got to step, just elevate and go right to the rim.
Stinson gets right to the basket. He has 8. BC has missed their last 4 from the floor, and it's back to single digits.
Well, here's the push that Stonehill needed. Not necessarily how you would have diagrammed the stops that they're getting, but they're getting them.
Kelley turned over. Simona out front against hand, and Hastings there again.
Fair to say he affected that shot.
I would say. It'll stay here when we come back. 7:46 to go in the second. Skyhawks trying to make a push. Can they find their way back in?
Well, certainly you hope that this is the start of a little bit of a breakout stretch for him.
So it's a 9-point game as we return here with under 8 minutes remaining. Nice takeaway by Fred Payne. In a big moment, Brown got caught in a little bit of traffic.
Yeah, got put in a tough spot there off the pass. Did well to keep his dribble.
Entrance for Venning. To his right, Venning up. Venning, strong take.
Yeah, this is Chad Venning time right now if you're BC. You missed your last 4 shots. Get your starters, for the most part, back out there. Go back inside. Muser not on the floor, so let Venning do his thing.
Entrance, Brogna wide open.
Way too easy.
And he ties his career high with 20 points.
If you're gonna front the post like that defensively, you gotta have help behind. No help that time. Easy lob, easy finish for Brogna.
Had 20 in the opener this year against Framingham State. And now he has it at Conti Forum.
Well, that's a little bit of a different level. No offense to the Rams.
Venning, double team comes. Needs help, 3 to shoot. Brown gotta go. And it was enough time for Payne to put it in. How do you like that? Brown actually probably had another beat, but because he launched when he did, there was enough time for Fred Payne. And the take by Nesbitt rolls off.
Well, how about Payne doing the right thing and just sort of staying home? I mean, if he recognizes that the shot clock is winding down, a lot of times you see a guy throw up a prayer, you just start trotting back on defense. Now this time, Payne stays home right under the basket and has the presence of mind to get his fingertips to that ball.
And it was often plenty of time. 8 points now for Nesbitt. Well, Fred Payne, we've seen more and more minutes at this time of the game. Go back to November 19th, last 7 games coming in today, averaging about 17 minutes a game, scored 10 plus for those 7. Some increases for the sophomore who missed most of last season. Ten-point game. Payne is stripped.
Good anticipation of the pass by Stinson.
And he gets all the way in, got his own rebound off the miss, and a jump ball will keep possession here.
We'll try to run a two-man game with Payne and Venning on the offensive end. Stinson does a good job sort of keeping it halfway. Recognizes when the pass is coming, takes it away, and then, again, sees parting. Stonehill spreading the floor in transition, allows Stinson all the way in.
Muser is still out there with 4 fouls. Brogna against Venning. Brogna gives it up. 5 to shoot, Nesbitt. Big bounce off the miss. And a foul called against Kofi.
Well, and that's one of the things you love about what Dion Brown brings to the table. I mean, he's arguably the smallest guy in this foursome going up for the rebound, and yet he's the one who comes down with it. It's those little things that can make all the difference, and it's those little things that have really kept him as a key part of the rotation, even when he's not giving you the scoring that you would necessarily hope to get.
Or maybe it was expected going into the year, but sometimes roles adapt and change. One thing Boston College can do, their guards can rebound the basketball. We've seen it with Brown, we've seen it with McFarland, we've seen it with Donald Hand. Strong thought a long time about it.
One too many.
Donald Hand, of course, is averaging 8 rebounds per game, which is 10th nationally among guards.
Well, and that's really going to come to light the further you get in ACC play, right? Because that's going to be such a big key to trying to get second chance opportunities.
Beadle was trying to get it back to Brown, but nowhere to go. Under 5 to go, it's a 10-point game. Stonehill's gotten to 9 a bunch, have not been able to get closer. Can they do it here? Stinson against Dion Brown. Muser for 3, that's a big shot. Playing with 4 fouls, Ethan Muser.
Closest they've been in a while.
Yep.
Really a walk there from Strong. And you gotta find him on this end.
Brown drives, double team comes. Venning for 3, no. Payne had a piece of the rebound, but couldn't secure it.
I don't think that's the shot you want if you're Boston College. You want Venning underneath the rim right now. If they're gonna defend him with Muser, you can draw that 5th foul. If they're gonna defend him with Brogna, you have to like that matchup in the low post.
Muser with 11 to shoot, it's Nesbitt against Elijah Strong. Venning nearly had a strip. Muser throws it up, and he hits! Ethan Muser with back-to-back threes. It's a 4-point game with under 4 to go.
Well, I credit Muser, a guy who's been in and out, in and out, in and out because of the foul situation. And comes up with 2 dynamite shots. The first one by design, the second one, a little bit of accidental offense. Certainly caught a break as Venning slipped, but Strong was right in his face. And he just chucks it up and finds nothing but net.
7 points in a row. 6 of them from Ethan Muser. We got a finish for you, folks. Come on back.
Sort of, you're in and out for brief stretches like he's been this entire ball game. But they find him at key moments late. He comes up with a couple big daggers. Now the question is, how does BC respond out of this timeout? Their last couple offensive possessions have really been wanting.
Nearly 3 minutes without a point for BC. Tie up.
That entry pass, I don't know if that was deflected. Kelley didn't get the wrap that he wanted to spin it into Venning.
Does stay here. Donald Hand is back in the game, by the way, for Boston College. Let's see if that got deflected. I think it had to have, just based on the angle it took.
Yeah, it might have gone off the toe of Stinson. Just wasn't called a kick. Again, that's one of those, you gotta get some English on the ball, wrap it around.
And off for Kelley from Venning. Kelley trying to throw it up, literally. Strong finds it, he still has time. Good take from Strong.
That's some bailout offense there. Again, right idea, attacking the basket, but Kelley just gets himself in no man's land.
Delay of game warning was given to Boston College after that basket. But Strong with an important take, and just knowing how much time he had, as you said, because it did not hit the rim. So now Stonehill, more magic to be had. Brogna for three. Little short, it was a good look, but it was not there for Brogna, who stays on 20 points today with under 3 to go.
That's where teams have victimized BC in the past, that pick and pop play with Venning.
And drives, saw a burst and is foul. Kofi had to play catch up.
Now this is exactly why you have Donald Hand out there. Guy you can just put the ball in his hands and trust him to make a play.
After Strong makes the basket to get Boston College back up 6, and Hand, who's an excellent free throw shooter, to try to add a little bit more space. 88% on the season from the foul line, second best in the ACC. And he makes 2 big ones. So Hand up to 10 points. BC has scored 4 points in a row out of that timeout. Gotten the lead back to 8. Stinson against Strong. Nowhere to go, needs help. Does get it off to Brogna. Unsettled sequence now for Stonehill. Brogna for 3. He got it.
Again, unsettled, but pick and pop. Late closeout again. And Brogna delivers.
And then a tie-up before the ball was even inbounded.
Foul. Stinson tripping up Kelley there.
It's only the 5th foul. There's the 3-pointer from Brogna, is a new career high, 23 points. 9 of 15 from the floor today with 3 3-point makes. The NEC's leader in 3-point percentage.
It's been a good shooting day for the Skyhawks, over 40% from 3. And that was something in the early stages. You know, when BC had won 6 of their first 7, they were keeping opponents under 30% from behind the arc.
Kelley gets a double team, finds Venning, no. Follow for Venning, yes. Almost lost his balance, it looked like, on the first attempt. But then he does a good job on the second. 13 points for Venning, 8 in the second half. Other end, another 3. Herman Kofi. And the Skyhawks will not go away.
Well, not as long as they keep getting good looks from outside. Again.
And remember, the Skyhawks down their leading scorer, Josh Morgan, today. Within 4, and the trap is on. Brown gets it across.
Got to come to the middle of the floor there when you see your man trapped.
Stonehill does have a foul to give. .112 remaining. 4 to shoot. Hand for 3. Short. Rebound Stonehill with 1:05 to go. Down by 4.
Boy, not a look inside on that possession for BC.
All the way down on the timer, and they got the 3 for Hand. Under a minute to go. BC is led by as much as 13. Nesbitt against Venning with 6 to shoot. Stinson drives. Stinson, no! It was a good look and it didn't go.
Yeah, you got a foul.
Yep. I mean, you'll take that look.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a good look in the end. I still don't think it's what Stonehill really wanted on that play. I think they wanted Brogna against Kelley in the low post. You'll see off the switch here. Brogna takes Kelley with him. Nesbitt hands it off Stinson's able to turn the corner.
And credit Kelley for not going with him, which would have opened Brogna, as you said, on the backside for that little pass.
He absolutely has to stay home there.
So that was the 6th team foul against Stonehill. It went on Nesbitt. Nesbitt gonna play it out defensively. Brown taken away by Stinson, and then Hand commits the foul. Oh no! And Stonehill with life.
That's the only thing you could not have if you're BC there. You could not turn the basketball over.
And it's one again where they make the play, but you don't give it away.
Yep, don't need to keep your dribble at that point. Once you're across the timeline, let the trap come and find your outlet. Just had to slow things down. And there have been a couple times, not just today, but over the course of this season, where it feels like BC has gotten too sped up for its own good.
So now with 30.3 remaining in this second half, it's a 69-65 game. What a job by Stonehill, continuing to stay in it.
You know, fortunately, Eric, is Hand committing that foul. Yep. That was the last one that BC had to give.
Yes,
so the good news for the Eagles that you don't put Stonehill at the line in that situation.
Remember, it was a 10-point game with 6:05 left. And we went a while without a basket before Muser hit those back-to-back threes to bring it to 4, and we've held about there. And even just moments ago, Boston College got it to 69-62. And Stonehill off the 3 from Kofi, and here we are. It's Brogna, gets by, Brogna right to the basket.
Again, communication breakdown on the defensive end. Venning not knowing whether to switch or stay. And nobody stays at home on Brogna. Good quick reverse. They needed to get a bucket right out of the gate.
He has 25 points. Fastball for Hand. Timer is off. Got a foul, and Stonehill does. In a 2-point game with 16.7 left. Wow. Third foul on Nesbitt.
Well, I know this was a close game 2 years ago. You know, less than 10 points pretty much the entire way, but I don't know that even if you gave Chris Krause some truth serum, he would think he'd be in a 1-possession game with under 20 seconds left here at Conti.
Without Josh Morgan.
Exactly.
It was 15 points a game for Stonehill. Hand is the guy that Boston College would want at the line. And Chris Krause will try to ice the 88% free throw shooter.
Well, that was the important one, but this is, first and foremost, you trust Hand to make this free throw and then just try to play it out from there.
16.7 to go. Hand for a 4-point lead. He does make 6 for 6 at the line today for Donald Hand. Nesbitt against Strong. Nesbitt all the way in and got it.
Too easy again. No help.
He has 10 for the 4th time against a Power 6 opponent this year.
Now you need the turnover.
7.4 to go. Inbound to Strong, and they foul. It's Brogna who commits his 3rd with 5.8 left.
Well, the tough part here is the Skyhawks are out of timeouts now. So even if Strong only makes 1 of 2, you don't have a lot of time to get the ball up the floor. They're gonna leave Nesbitt back here.
Unlike Hand, if you're Stonehill, you'd rather have someone other than Hand at the line, and it's Elijah Strong, who is a 68% free throw shooter. He is 1 for 2 today with 5.8 to go. Boston College does have a timeout, by the way, should they need it. Stonehill does not. Front end, good.
You take a big, deep breath right now if you're Elijah Strong.
He told us he does this on every free throw he takes, no matter the situation. Imagining he's back home as a kid in his backyard. The light's a touch brighter right now, and he can make this a 2-possession game. Big couple of makes for Elijah Strong. Stonehill's got to go quick. Kofi.
It's out of bounds.
Stepped on the out-of-bounds line with 2.9 to go.
I feel some heavy sighs I think coming from that BC bench.
I think the whole building. Got to get it in. They do, and this game is over. Boston College survives a major comeback from the Skyhawks.